Turn around.
I'm sure the sheriffs will pay you up front.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Law enforcement.
Come on, Sheriff,
guys
you
don't
stand
wanna
over here and
line
make-
up
right
against
in the
the
middle.
SWAT
You
people.
guys, gotcha. Appreciate it.
Law enforcement. Thank you.
No,
Just line up along the wall, actually.
No.
We may have to do a
James, do you
couple
want to
rows.
take another step this way?
I can't if I need to.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Those of them more
Because you gotta reach out for
Further
it.
age.
That's all it is. That's the further you go, the less you read pictures.
Stand up here with the green. I'm standing here with the
There
green.
you
I'm
go.
stand up here with the green now.
Because you know you want to be making you. Because they're real.
I changed.
Right here, Bob.
Come on.
Come on.
We gotta put the handsome ones up front.
Tell your wife, look, you got to quit calling me cute on the internet.
right, is everybody here that's going to be here? I hope so. All right, Deborah, are we ready? All right, good morning, everybody, and I want to just thank everybody for being here. As you can see, there's a lot of folks up here from a lot of different agencies, and as you can see from the graphics, Operation Summer Hurricane, we were looking at people that are trying to pick up underage kids on the internet. They're chatting with them, which I know you've seen a lot of these operations across the state. And this is the first time one has ever been done in Franklin County, and I just want to thank FDLE and the Attorney General for being partners, and Homeland Security and TPD, Leon County, Jack Campbell's state attorney, all the folks that it takes to make something like this happen. But as you can see, no matter where you are, there's always these predators who want to do bad things to children. And it was not. And somebody asked me, where were they from? Well, they were from right here, and they were as far away as Washington State. So I'm going to turn it over to the Attorney General, let him say a few words or whatever he'd like to say, and then we'll open it up to some other folks.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want to thank Sheriff Smith here in the Sheriff's Office really for leading in a monumental way. I've consistently said since I've been in office, protecting our kids is our #1 priority, and it's great to work with so many different law enforcement agencies working together to protect our kids. So here we've got 8 individuals being arrested, 6 are already in custody, and one of these individuals, I will point out, is an illegal alien that should not even be in the country. So you hear the left, you hear the media, try to spin this narrative that people are just here wanting to pursue a good living and an honest living. And then every time we do one of these stings, we end up pulling illegal aliens off the streets that are trying to molest and prey upon our kids. So no, it is not just people that are here wanting to, work hard and raise a family. There are people here that have illicit motives that want to hurt our children. So we are going to continue to enforce rule of law. We're going to continue to detain these individuals and get them back where they came from. It's an honor to work with our sheriffs. We got the best sheriffs in the country, hands down. They're protecting the counties every single day. I want to thank Commissioner Glass and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And I want to thank our investigators here. Looking at this harmful content, I mean, some of it is so grotesque you can't even speak of it. But they do the Lord's work. They put in the time. And ultimately, they save lives. I'd like to thank our prosecutors in our statewide office, as well as in the Second Circuit. The law enforcement guys can bring them in, but we're going to put them away, and we're going to put them away for as long as we can. So again, protecting our kids is our #1 mission. We're going to continue to do it. Since I've been in office, I think we're nearing 100 child predators that have been locked up. And we're going to keep going until we get absolutely every single one, or as many as we can. So I'll conclude by saying it's an honor to work in an interagency coordinated effort. In Florida, that's the way we roll. I hope other states are able to do the same thing, because when we're all rowing in the same direction, we put bad guys away and we save lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Glass.
Good morning. My name is Mark Glass. I'm the FDLE Commissioner, and I just want to reiterate what the Attorney General stated and the Sheriff here at Franklin County on this operation. In Florida, this is zero tolerance. You go after our kids, we go after you. Right now, I have agents in another state trying to find one of these perpetrators to bring them back to justice. So, what does that mean for you? We're in a law and order state, if you haven't paid attention. From Governor DeSantis and the AG, the Attorney General, the CFO, and the Agricultural Commissioner all banding together to make sure this is a law and order state in our House and Senate, helping us to get laws to make this even more so of a law and order state, especially in this arena against child exploitations. The governor was able to sign into law additional laws that would help us to combat and fight this infestation within our community. You are very fortunate in this part of the state and all the whole part of the state, the Florida Sheriff's Association and the 67 sheriffs that we have and the chiefs of police and the Florida Police Chiefs Association band together on all this type of internet crimes against children, We are on one team, one fight in this state, and we will not tolerate it. And Attorney General hears me say this all the time. This is just pure evil. You're dealing with people that are just pure evil. The stuff that happens and what they do, what they share of children that has been exploited is just unconscionable. I just can't even say any more on that one. It's sick. So what we need as a community, we need you to also, if you see stuff like this, is to report it. To report it to your local law enforcement. You have one of the best sheriffs here. He's the saltwater sheriff for the state of Florida, which is A.J. Smith. He is the best. And Franklin County is doing so well in this area because he doesn't tolerate any of this. Dusty Arnold, the sheriff of Liberty County, the same there. They do not tolerate this in Liberty County. The other sheriffs there, Walt McNeil, Tommy Ford, were all part of this this operation, the summer hurricane. And I just want to say, and Chief Revel with TPD allowing us to utilize their folks in these chat ops to do that. And we cannot forget our federal partners. Our federal partners at Homeland Security Investigation has been amazing in this arena. This is their forte too. And FDLE partners side by side with them on everything to do stuff not only here, out of state and overseas. They're one of our key leaders here to make sure that we put a stop to this type of activity. But also too, you can go to FDLE's website. I want you to take a look at the sex offender, sex predator list and know your neighborhood, know your area, know what's around you and your children. Take a look at that. And keep your community safe, but don't be afraid to say something. Call your sheriff's department, call FDLE, call HSI, call someone. We all work together. We spend time together and we fight together. But these detectives and analysts do the Lord's work every day. The victims advocates do the Lord's work every day, trying to help and place these children in the right places they need to be and take them away from these offenders. Thank you for your time, but let's just keep Florida safe.
Sheriff Arnold, do you want to say anything? You sure? Come on now. The cute sheriff. So we'll entertain any questions. Whoever has a question, just pick whoever you'd like to talk to. The Attorney General. Any questions? Come on, I know y'all got questions.
I'll say one more thing, and then while people are thinking, the internet is making it a lot easier for dangerous people to get access to our kids. So I'm trying to get a drumbeat going to wake up parents. If you don't know what your kids are doing on their cell phone, if you don't know what apps they're accessing, you need to go home and figure it out. I know when it gets to teenagers, you got a tough decision to decide, should your kid have this phone and unlimited access to the internet or not? I'm sure I'm grateful my daughter's 5 only, because she's already debating me and fighting with me, and she's so smart. I can only imagine what 12, 13 is going to look like. But here in Florida, we again have led. We passed a law that we're litigating through the courts to defend that does not allow young teenagers, young children to access social media apps like Snapchat and TikTok and Facebook and others. They're too young, and we believe as a state that it's too dangerous out there and that they're not mature enough to be prepared for predators like these guys that we're talking about today who want to get access to them. When it comes to older teenagers, 14, 15, 16, with parental consent, you can get on and have access. But parents need to know. They need to know about the tools available to them to restrict certain access, to be able to track or monitor what their kids are doing. But just know, since we brought a lawsuit against Snapchat for violating our state law, for carelessly endangering our kids, exposing them to the harms. This app is a preferred app for sex predators because things disappear. I had never used it, but pictures and messages, they disappear after a short amount of time. So it's harder for law enforcement to track and monitor what's going on. So we filed the lawsuit. Since then, I think we've arrested several individuals for preying on kids in the worst circumstances, actually committing sexual abuse, and it all began through this app, Snapchat. So again, parents, grandparents, you are the first line of defense. You got to go home, get up to speed on what your kids are doing, get access to the tools. You can protect a dangerous situation from happening. Thanks.
David, do you have a question?
Yeah. What techniques are used by law enforcement to identify sexual offenders and arrest them?
I can take it or you can take it.
No, go ahead.
Well, I don't want to say everything because some of these stings are ongoing, and we don't want to reveal tactics that have been successful in putting bad guys away. But obviously, you've got some undercover law enforcement that are working in chat rooms, that are working on social media sites, that are engaged in some conversations, enough so to reveal communications, photographs, solicitations, things that get quite vulgar in nature, but ultimately reveal that you've got an individual that wants to do something horrific to a child.
Can you talk about the background of some of these individuals and how they were able to access these children exactly?
Does anybody want to talk about that one?
So the background of these, excuse me, my name's Sean Wheeler. I'm the Special Agent Supervisor of Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Some of these individuals' backgrounds are extremely diverse, all walks of life. Some of these are state workers. Some of these are in sales. So their backgrounds are just across the board, very diverse. And as the sheriff spoke and the AG spoke, some of these individuals aren't just located here in the state of Florida. They're located across the country. And it's our job as law enforcement officers to do everything we can to go seek these individuals out that are preying on our children.
Here's one thing I want to make clear. If you're thinking about getting online and chatting with an underage person, it may not be an underage person. It may be a law enforcement officer. So that's why we do these operations. That's so we can identify the people that are wanting to do this. Because maybe if they know that they're liable to be talking to someone who's in law enforcement and they're going to get arrested no matter what state they're in, they might think twice about doing it. And that's why we do these, and that's why we put their names out, and that's why we put their pictures out, and we want everybody to know who they are. So get a good close-up of all these folks up here, and thank you. Any other questions?
How does Homeland Security play a role in these operations?
Come on.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Nick Ingenio. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge for Homeland Security. Basically, by being a partner with all our other state and local partners, FDLE, Leon County, Franklin County, all our county and state partners and all other federal partners, giving support, giving any kind of training, giving bodies to help chat, anything we can do to really support these operations. Help with, some of these, like we talked about, some of these offenders being in other states. Some of these may be overseas. We can help in that range too. So just being a good partner and supporting our partners.
Can you talk a little bit about how some of these people came from other states and how that works with state jurisdictions and just being able to?
Well, that's one of the reasons for having Homeland Security, the federal government, having the state government, having everybody working together so that we can go after the ones that are out of state, even out of the country, because we're Franklin County's small. We don't have specialists in cyber crimes. We don't have a lot of these the specialized equipment to do this stuff, but FDLE does, Homeland Security. So that's why we partner together to be able to do something like this. Is a sophisticated operation. This is not something that's put together in 5 minutes. So it takes a lot of expertise, takes a lot of technology, and takes a lot of hands on deck. Yes.
So on the board it says that this remains an active investigation. How many more people that you guys are looking into who are targeting children?
Albert, come on, address that please.
Many. So we have 6 in custody now. 2 we're actively looking for, including ones out of state. Because again, we put the bait out online, they come to the bait. So it's not so much that we hunt these people down, they hunt themselves. By imposing and impersonating a minor, we draw these people to us. What's really important, and just real quick, the perception, there's a perception, I've been doing this almost 20 years, about 14 years of that I've been hunting child predators. There's a perception in the pedophile community that if you want to seek kids online, that there are safe places to do so, and there are places that are not so safe. Nobody wants to be arrested. No pedophile hunting a kid wants to be on a board at a press conference. So the perception has been that the smaller rural areas are safer. to hunt kids. And that was one of the biggest points when Sheriff Smith approached us. I think we're going on about almost a year ago about wanting to do this operation. This is something that was unique in a way that we've never done one in a rural area like this. You've seen these done in Tallahassee, in Tampa, Orlando, the bigger metropolitan areas. So one of the keys to this one was that we do something new. We do one of these in a rural, that's typically a rural area, and that way we can start to break that perception that this would be a safe area for someone to offend on a child. And that was one of the key points of this operation that I just want to make sure is mentioned, is we are setting a standard today, along with a strong AG, strong leadership in FDLE, HSI, everybody. We are setting a standard that the places you typically thought were okay to hunt kids or solicit kids online, that is no longer the case. If you thought you were safe trying to solicit a child online in a place like East Point or Apalachicola, because your mind says that there's not a big law enforcement presence there, it may not be a large sophisticated agency, so it's safer. We're breaking that mold with this op, and this will be the first of many. We have many more planned across the state. You'll see the AG, you'll see Commissioner Glass at many more press conferences, where we are going to start focusing these operations in sort of the non-traditional rural areas, because the internet doesn't care where you are, and it provides these offenders a pathway to offend anywhere. So we have to adjust, and we've made that adjustment. And so that's what's starting with this operation. What really makes it unique amongst the others is, again, we're trying to destroy that perception in the online pedophile community that there are safe places to solicit kids.
Thank you. All right. You have another question?
Yes, just another quick one. For parents, what tips do you have for them to try and help protect their kids on their end?
I think the commissioner or the AG, one of them, or maybe both of them mentioned, look and see what they're doing online. Have access to their phones, have access to their computers. Be aware of what they're doing. A lot of parents don't know what their kids are doing on their phones. You need to be looking. You need to be watching. That's the best advice I can give. Anybody else?
Yeah, look, I think there's a wake-up call here, too. I mean, it's not just like a neighbor down the road, the way predators would approach kids before. Now you have people coming from across the country. I mean, we did, there was a sting over in Ocala, Marion County. Sheriff Billy Wood's team led the way, and there, 42 predators were arrested in a short span. And again, you saw people coming from very long distances. So it's not somebody, looking in the window from next door. It's somebody online that could be sitting hundreds, thousands of miles away targeting your child. So yeah, get involved. Most of these apps, if you decide to let your kids use them, and again, I would encourage parents, figure out what is the appropriate age to really let your kid use the app. But they have tools available. Get educated, get access, monitor what's going on.
Commissioner, you have something?
Yes. As said again, is just go to FDLE's website. There's online safety tips for parents. You can just look it up, and you'll have a plethora of stuff that you can download as a parent or a loved one to make sure that you're paying attention and being a sentinel for your family. So I encourage people to do that. There's many tips. I believe HSI has a bunch on their website. Everything from the Blue campaign to because this ends up being into not only just pedophilia, which is atrocious, but people start getting trafficked and smuggled by this because you're luring these children, you're luring themselves there, and then and I cannot just say enough. Parents, you've got to get involved. And guardians, you have got to get involved, and we just appreciate anything you can do to help thwart it at home, in your community, and working with your local sheriff and chiefs of police to ensure that is taken care of for your kids. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other questions, I think that's going to conclude the press conference. But if you want to talk to somebody one-on-one, please feel free. Thank you for being here.